solution of system of two linear equation, we are using the Cramer's rule. So Cramer rule, that is we are using to determinant to find out the value of the linear equation. Please understand, linear equation is nothing but an equation with not more than power of 1. X square, it will be, say, um, x cube and x to the power 4. All these will be polynomials. So linear we are talking about. X. So we are just having x and y values here. That is the variables. Other are constant value. So these are nothing but lines. So if you want to find out directly the value of x and y using the Cramer rule, you can find out. There are different ways of solving the linear equation. But this is one of the way of solving the linear equation using the Cramer's rule. So how do we write it? I am writing the left hand side a1, b1, a2, b2. I am also writing c1 and c2. Why I am writing all of it? Because I just want to tell you that with this equation in your mind, actually a1, b1, a1, b1, a2, c2 is equal to c1, c2. So determinant D will be equal to the left hand side part. That is a1, b1, a2, b2. This is clear? D. Now when you try to find out d1, you are actually targeting x. So in place of a1, a2, you are going to replace c1, c2. That is in a1, a2, b1, b2, a1, a2 has to be replaced by c1, c2, b1, b2 remains the same. This is d1. How about d2? d2 is what? In place of y, because you are targeting y here. So in place of b1, b2, you are going to replace c1 by c1 and c2. a1, a2 remains the same. Now you have to replace c1 and c2 here. So c1 by c1 and c2. So this, when you found out, you can easily find out the determinant is 2 by 2. So x can be found out directly using d1 by d. Y can be found out using d2 by d. Right? But this d1, d2, d, these all can have certain values. So this values will, see, this actually, d is actually this. First, you cannot, the d can be 0 also. So if d is 0, it is how it is defined or how it is not defined. I'll tell you the whole scenario. That is, in the same discussion, if the determinant is not equal to 0, that is, if you find out x, it will be d1 by d, y is d2 by d. So if d is not equal to 0, that means you are going to get consistent and unique solution. As I previously said, that linear equations are just line. They are line, ax plus by plus c form. So you will get a consistent and unique solution because the two lines are going to intersect. So you'll get some point. But if in case all of them are 0, d is 0 and even d2 are also 0. That is, it is 0 by 0, 0 by 0, x and y. But this means the system still remains consistent, but it has infinitely many solutions. Now you'll ask the question how? As I just said, that if you have two lines and they intersect, you get a proper point. That is the case when d is not equal to 0. This is the case when d is not equal to 0. Line 1, line 2, they are intersecting. So you get a proper point of intersection. That is the solution of these two equations. But when you have these two lines and they both lines are equal, they both lines are same, then the system will be consistent and infinitely many solutions. What about d equals 0 and d1, d2 not equal to 0? That is, if you have d0, that is, you are dividing by 0. And as I said, dividing by 0 is incomprehensible. For two lines intersecting at one point, you get a proper solution. If both are, everything is 0, consistent, infinitely many solutions because they are same line. But if you have two lines which are in different plane, they are not going to intersect anywhere. That is, it is inconsistent and it will have no solution. Now let us take an example of this Cramer rule of two set of linear equation. We have this 2x minus 3y equals 7. And we have 3x plus y equals 5. So we have two equations here. And these are nothing but two lines. They are representing two lines. So how they are going to intersect? This will describe the result of the solution. It may describe the proper point, or it may also say that both the lines are same because they both represent the same thing. So you have infinitely many solutions. So first we'll find out the D. What is D? D is on the left hand side, whichever is there, write it here in the form of determinant. So 2, 3 and negative 3 and y. I am writing the x coefficient of x and y. So now find out the determinant. 2 minus of this is plus of 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. So D is not equal to 0 in this case. Now let us take D1. D1 will be what? It will be replace 2 and 3 by 7 by 5. 7 and 5. So 7 and 5 in place of 2 and 3. We have negative 3 and 1. So what do you get? So I am, as I said, this D first column has to replace by 7 by 5. 7 minus the 7 minus 3 5 is 15 plus becomes, so it becomes 22. 17 and 5 is 15 and 7 is 22. Now D1 is not equal to 0. Coming to D3. D3, now you have to replace negative 3 and 1 by 7 and 5. So 2 3 remains here. Now this has to be replaced here, 7 by 7 and 5 here. So what do you get? A1 A2 C1 C2 this is. Okay. So this is A1 A2 B1 B2 and this is C1 C2. So what do you get? 5 2 is 10 minus 7 3 is 21. You get negative 11. Okay. So neither of them are 0. So x will be d1 by d, y will be d2 by d. So d1 is what? 22. D is what? 11. What is d2? It's negative 11. And you have this one as 11. So you get 2 here, you get negative 1 here. So when you solve this by Cramer's rule, x becomes 2, y becomes negative 1. Okay.